Okay, so welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Kim, again to the Zoom room. Nice to see you again, and nice to see you, Elaine. So yeah, let's jump in, shall we, to today's email. It's all about following our bliss. Okay, let's jump in, shall we? I'm just going to play back from YouTube. All right, so let's have a look at today's quote. So I'll share my screen with you. All right, so we screen sharing. It's saying I am. Great. Can you see that okay? Should I make it a bit bigger?
It's still saying it started sharing.
Yeah,
All right.
me too, on mine too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's give it a moment. As I said, everything's a bit slow on this old laptop. There we go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So, Kim, if you can read the quote for us to kick it off from Joseph Campbell, kindly.
Sure. Follow your bliss. If you do follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the while waiting for you. And the life you ought to be living is the one that you are living. When you can see that, you begin to meet people who are in the field of your bliss, and they open the doors to you. I say, follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. If you follow your bliss, doors will open for you that wouldn't have opened for anyone else.
Yeah, great quote by Joseph Campbell, who was an American professor of literature who discovered and formulated what he called the hero's journey, which we've looked at before. And what he did was he studied many seemingly different cultures, religions, philosophies, and spiritual traditions around the world to come up with this archetypal hero's journey. And says, what really the hero is trying to do is to learn to follow their bliss. A term he used to refer to an inspired purpose that activates a flow of joyful energy in your life, and what psychotherapist Carl Jung called synchronicities, and the heroes in life, which another more recent psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called flow. Yeshua refers to as miracles in A Course in Miracles. So whatever language you use, flow, synchronicities, miracles, bliss, these are just terms that point us to the same universal energy. And whatever you call it, Campbell found that there was this one universal story of human life, or monomyth, as he called it, which every philosophy, religion, and spiritual path shares. And this monomyth is the story of the hero's journey that the heroes or heroines of the stories in these various traditions choose to undertake in order to discover who they really are, despite all the obstacles, trials, temptations, challenges, difficulties and so on presented by the ego, which is really they're just their belief in separation and the separate self-concept that is a necessary consequence of this belief. So really all these heroes are trying to do is they're trying to overcome that separate self that most people believe is them, but the heroes and heroines of the world realize that maybe this isn't them. Maybe there's another self, a higher self, the true self that beckons them, that's calling them to go on this journey to discover themselves. And so what he noticed is that this monomyth story inevitably includes the same common elements, allowing him to formulate the archetypal hero's journey consisting of three main stages: departing, initiation, and return, that are shown in this diagram in a bit more detail. So there's the classic hero's journey diagram. Starts with a call to adventure, often with some supernatural aid. Something comes in that is unforeseen, that's apparently very different from the hero's ordinary world, and calls them to adventure. And then often they refuse the call, and you get these threshold guardians that seem to block that. You remember in the Matrix, which is a classic hero's journey, where Neo gets the phone call from Morpheus and says, I'm here to help you. And he says, how you escape the agents is go out the door and over the roof. And he's like, I can't do this. So he refuses the call at some point. And then he actually meets the mentor. He meets Morpheus in person, and he crosses the threshold, which is that famous pill scene in the Matrix. Where it's like, okay, do you choose the red pill or the blue pill? Blue pill, you go home, the journey ends, the story ends here, and you believe whatever you want to believe. The red pill, you're going to discover the truth of who you are and what the Matrix is. And so that's the threshold, beautifully shown in that movie. Crossing the threshold into the second act. You remember the movie then, after half an hour, he's done that, he goes into the second act where he goes into the Nebuchadnezzar, the ship, and there he's faced with his training. He's got to learn how to become who he really is, the avatar. There's various tests. There's allies who are clearly helping him, and there's enemies. He has Cypher, who is his enemy, is the Judas of the story, is trying to actually betray him and everyone else. He has to go through the inner cave, approaching the inner cave, which is goes and he sees the oracle, and then he has this ordeal that he has to face, where he has to face the agent and go through fighting him, nearly dies, then finally does die, and then has to resurrect. So there's literally a death and a rebirth after all the challenges and the trials and the growth and the new skills. He's learning to. Morpheus says when he's fighting the agent, he says, "What is he doing?" He's learning to. He's beginning to believe. So he's learning these new skills. Eventually, has to die to the old self. Says, "I'm not Mr. Anderson. My name is Neo." So he does away with that old identity, comes back into the Matrix at the end of the movie, having gone through this profound journey, and then gives this message to the creator of the Matrix, the architect. We're going to meet in the sequel to it, saying, I'm going to show these people what you don't want me to show them. How a world without borders and boundaries and limits, a world beyond the Matrix. I'm going to show them that. And classic hero's journey, which is why it's a brilliant movie modeled on this the 12 phases of the hero's journey, which after Campbell published his classic book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, in 1949, Hollywood scriptwriters and movie directors have expanded this into these detailed 12 phases. People like George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and so on, that generation of filmmakers started to apply the Joseph Campbell's hero's journey in the movies, and they came up with these blockbuster series of movies. The Matrix, Avatar, Star Wars was probably one of the first ones George Lucas created, Lord of the Rings, and countless other ones. If you look at any of the really epic cinematic blockbusters, you'll see that there's a hero's journey at the core of them, which is well, Harry Potter is another one. Didn't include that, but Harry Potter is another one. So encourage you. There's some reading. There's a book. There's an article here about the 12 steps. That's very informative. There's the actual book that Joseph Campbell wrote, which you can download and read. If you want to dive deeper, I really encourage you to do that. But for now, we're going to move on into, brings us to our lesson for today. So let's jump into that, shall we?
Okay.
So this is lesson 212, I believe we're on to, which is a review lesson. So just skip the introduction. Let's go into lesson 212. Well, actually, we probably could do the introduction. We've got till 9 o'clock. Should we have a look at it? So this is the introduction to review 6, where he gives us instructions. I'll use it, but he also gives us instructions that are quite helpful for our practicing. So let's read it quickly. It won't take long. Just read it in the alternative. So Kim, if you read the alternative version from paragraph 1 for this review.
For this review, I take only one idea each day and practice it as often as possible. Besides the time I give morning and evening, which should not be less than 15 minutes, and the hourly remembrances I make throughout the day, I use the idea as often as I can between them. Each of these ideas alone is sufficient for awakening if I learn it truly. Each is enough to release me and the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of perfect love back into my awareness.
Yeah, really the number 3 and 4 is significant. Each of these ideas alone is sufficient for awakening if I learn it truly. Because the whole truth, the whole teaching is in each of the ideas. That's how powerful they are. So we go, oh, it's another lesson. But if you really learned these lessons, you really took them to heart and lived this way, it's enough to awaken you, to enlighten you. And that's how powerful each lesson is. And we get different lessons because the way our minds work is we would just get bored if there was just one lesson, the same lesson. But it is actually effectively the same lesson every day. It's just stated in a different way. It's a different framing of each lesson of the same lesson every day, which is the genius of the course. He's got to keep us interested and engaged. So it's got to mix it up a bit and change the form of the lesson, although the underlying message is the same throughout all the lessons. Each is enough to release me and the world from every form of bondage, invite the memory of perfect love back into my awareness. So, really saying very, very profound, pay attention. These can be enormously helpful. Yeah, and then Elaine, if you can read number 2.
Yeah, just shutting the door. Sorry. Yeah. With this in mind, I start my practicing in which I carefully review the thoughts the remembrance of perfect love has given me in my last 20 lessons. Each contains the whole curriculum if understood. practice accepted and applied to all the seeming happenings throughout the day. One is enough, but I will not make exceptions to that one, and so I need to use them all and let them blend into one as each contributes to the whole I learn.
Okay, so what's he saying there?
Just with your practice to review all of them and see them as one is going to be enough, and there's not to be any exceptions except for the one, and they'll all blend into one and contribute to the whole.
Yeah, that's a key point. Each lesson contains the whole truth, and then second sort of corollary to that is that you don't make exceptions. Because if you make exceptions, then you bring in the ego, another thought system. So you go, yes, but I'm not a body, I'm free, but I have an objection to that. I'm still as God created me, but I've got some kind of objection to that. That brings in another thought system. You're making an exception. And of course, if you make an exception to the truth, then you're denying the truth. You're saying there's another truth. There's something that I prefer to believe in, which is the whole problem of the ego. Okay, let's go on to number 3. Kim, if you can read that.
These practice sessions, like the last review, are centered around a central theme with which I start and end each lesson. It is this:
I think read
I'm
the
not a
original as
body.
well, yeah? Read I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as God created me, and then we'll read the alternative as well.
Okay. I'm not a body, I am free. For I am still as God created me. I am not a body, I am free. For I am still as perfect love extends me.
Yeah, so let's just pause there and discuss that a bit, because it's a very, very profound statement. In fact, you could say, if you were going to summarize the workbook in 3 sentences, this would be it. This would be the workbook's key lesson. I'm not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me, or perfect love extends me. In a similar way, in the text, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God, is a summary of the text in 3 sentences. This for me would be the summary of the workbook. Recognizing you're not a body, recognizing that you're free, and recognizing that you still, as perfect love extends you. So claiming your true identity as you were and still are extended, right? The reason I made it present tense is because there's no time in this. God created me implies that there's time. God created you once upon a time, back when, at some point in time. But I'm still as perfect love extends me, brings it into the eternal present moment. Perfect love extends me now, and always has extended me now. It's because it's never not been now, right? That's the timeless now. That's the now's the reflection of eternity in this world, in which this awareness, fundamental awareness, is extending me right now and always will do. There's no time when this ever was not the case, because I've always been aware. I've always had this fundamental quality of awareness, which gives me life. So I'm still as perfect love extends me. It's got a double meaning. It says, I remain as perfect love extends me, but I am still within myself. I'm still in this presence. I rest in God, in other words. And you can interpret it in both ways, and both meanings are correct, and they kind of give a broader, more holistic perspective of what he's saying. So I remain as perfect love extends me, which is still in my essence, who I really am, has not changed and never can change. I remain as that throughout all time. And that's the eternal self that we're trying to connect with, which these words just point us to. Okay, so any thoughts or comments or questions on those 3 lines, those 3 sentences?
Mm. No, I tend to agree. It's a kind of summary of the, well, you could say the lessons or just of the course, or it is in terms of practicing that
Yeah.
and really taking that on.
Yeah, it's a bit more practical, and nothing real can
meditation.
be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. That's very high level, metaphysical, talking about
Yeah,
reality. But that's what the text is. It's understanding the metaphysics. The course, the lessons are more practical. Saying, okay, so how does this actually apply to you? How can you apply this to your life? And it starts with recognizing that you're not a body. You're free of the body, of its limitations, of its fears, its desires, of the material world, essentially. Then, for I'm still, I remain as perfect love extends me, which is beyond the body. So it's very clearly saying you're not a body, and there's something much deeper or higher to you than that, and asking you to practice that, to remind yourself of that. As he's saying, repeat it every hour. Remember in between. In fact, you read it, Kim. A day begins and ends with this.
my day begins and ends with this, and I will repeat it every hour and remember in between that I have a function which transcends the world I see. Beyond this, and a repetition of the special thought I practice for the day, I will practice no form of exercise except completely letting go of everything that clutters my mind, makes it deaf to reason, sanity, and simple truth.
Yeah. So just saying, remind yourself of this practice. And I have to say, this year I've been doing it more diligently, more intensely, and you can just these words can take you into a connection with your source. There's no doubt. You can really start feeling that and experiencing that, which is what they're designed to do. Remember, they're pointers to an experience that lies within you. And the words are just helpful because we have to use pointers in this world. We don't have the direct experience all the time, which we don't. We need to be pointed or directed there. And so that's what these do. And they help us to access and enter that state, which is already there, but most of the time we're unaware of it because we're thinking of other things. But these holy thoughts, these thoughts of God, direct us into that experience of this perfect love, to actually feel it, experience it. Recent lesson was I feel the love of God within me now. To actually enter into that feeling is far more profound than dry intellectual theory. So nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. I think for a lot of people that is pretty dry, abstract, theoretical. The lessons are very practical and not theoretical. So this lesson might, these words might be more powerful for them to contemplate and really connect with and feel deeply, the truth of them, which is why he's saying repeat it. Or practice no form of exercise except completely letting go of everything clutters up my mind and makes it deaf to reason, sanity, and simple truth. So our job is just to let go of everything that blocks this awareness of our freedom, blocks our awareness of the perfect love that extends us. And when it's saying practice it throughout the day, so that frequently you're going there. The more you do this, the more you reconnect, the more you're going to be able to stay in connection with that, in your source, when you're not consciously thinking about it. Which is why it's saying do it every hour, so that you reset every hour and you remain connected throughout the day to your source. Okay. Happy to go on to number 4. Elaine, if you can read that for us kindly.
I will attempt to go beyond all words and special forms of practicing for this review. For now, I attempt to reach a quickened pace along the shorter path to the serenity of peace of perfect love. I merely close my eyes and then forget all that I thought I knew and understood. For in this way, I will free myself from all I did not know and failed to understand.
Yeah, so thoughts on that?
Well, it's reassuring, isn't it? Just going beyond the words and special forms, and just it's asking us just for this moment, just to attempt.
Yeah, it's pointing us to an experience as we get into the latter part of the second half of the lessons. It becomes more about experience. Saying the theory is one thing, yeah, you've got to understand that. That's a good foundation, but it's about experiencing this peace of perfect love. Serenity and peace of God, he calls it, serenity and peace of perfect love. Merely close my eyes and then forget all that I thought I knew and understood. In this way, I'll free myself from all I did not know and failed to understand. So he's saying you can just go in and you can connect with that presence, and in that, everything becomes clear and all problems are solved. It's an awareness that's transcendent of the world. Okay. And he talks about number 5, one exception to this lack of structure. So, Kim, if you can read that. Okay. Kim, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was nodding off a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. There is only one exception to this lack of structure. I will permit no false thought to go unchallenged. If I notice one, I will deny its hold and hasten to assure my mind that this is not what it wants. Then I will think of the central idea I'm practicing that day to quickly help me gently let go of this false thought. I do not want and exchange it for the idea for review that day and the experience it will bring me.
Okay. So what's he saying there? Summary.
Yeah, so any kind of thoughts or distracting thoughts, you won't let it. You can use the idea of the day to help to let it go.
Yeah. So he's not saying you're not going to have negative thoughts. He's saying, yeah, you will have negative thoughts, but challenge them. Your practice becomes to look at them, challenge them, and then deny them. So this is just a negative thought. This isn't the truth. This doesn't define me. It's not something I need to believe. Not something I need to hold on to. I don't need to think this anymore. I don't need to think this thought. I don't need to feel the emotions it engenders. I can let it go. And realizing that this isn't what I want. And then you replace it, you let go and you replace it with the central idea that you're practicing. So into the gap, the void that your letting go creates, you now bring in a right-minded thought. It reprograms you in a positive way. Right-minded thought. It's in line with the Holy Spirit. Okay. So when you're tempted, then he says, when I'm tempted, so Elaine, if you can read that.
When I am tempted to enslave myself again, I hasten to proclaim my freedom from temptation as I say, I do not want this thought. Instead, I choose blank.
And then repeat the idea.
Yeah. And then I will repeat the idea for the day and let it take the place of what I thought before. Beyond such special applications of each day's idea, I will be contemplating just a few formal expressions or specific thoughts to help my practicing. Therefore, instead of reading many words in these practice periods, I give these times of quiet to the teacher who instructs in quiet, speaks of peace, and gives me thoughts. Yeah, sorry, I just lost that. Quiet teacher who instructs to quiet in quiet, speaks of peace, and gives me thoughts, whatever meaning they may have.
Yeah, gives my thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's not about words. What he's pointing us to here is an experience beyond words as we go deeper into the lessons. The second half from 220 onwards, 221 onwards, it becomes much more experiential, much less wordy, fewer words, just short pointers to an experience. He wants us to experience the peace of God, not just speak about it, think about it, write about it, to actually have that deep inner experience. And that's the difference between a mystic and a theologian.
Mm.
A mystic experiences it directly for themselves and speaks and teaches from their experience, if they are in fact going to teach and speak. And a theologian knows the concepts, knows the ideas, can sometimes be very erudite, very eloquent in that, as we talked about Alan Watts earlier, but doesn't necessarily apply it. Doesn't experience that that peace in their heart. And in his case, he drank himself to death. Well, evidently you're not experiencing then the peace of God, because you wouldn't be drinking yourself to death then if you were doing that. You've obviously got some inner demons and you're not able to let those go and find the peace that they're blocking. So it's about, that's why the workbook's so important. The theory is one thing, but understanding the theory without application, you become a theologian, an academic, and it's kind of pointless. It becomes a dry academic exercise. Yeah, I can speak all this stuff, but if I don't apply it and I don't find the peace and the happiness that the Course promises me, and I'm not living the happy dream, then I haven't really learned it. Helen Schuckman was another one. So very academic. She understood the theory, but she never really applied it. And she didn't find the peace of God that the Course promised. She died of cancer, in fact. I think because she was quite anxious and highly strung, and she couldn't accept this teaching. Her ego was too strong. She said, I'm in the curious position of not believing in my own life's work. Well, that's a massive internal contradiction, which then explains why maybe she got cancer. Because on one level, she knows that it's her life's work and it's important and it's the truth. And on another, she won't accept it and actually live by the principles. Well, massive internal contradiction, which is then probably manifested in her cancer. Okay, so one more paragraph. Again, if you can read that one, and then we'll go into the lesson. Okay, Kim, number 7. Still with us? Okay, I think Kim's dropping off. Elaine, if you can read that.
Yeah. I offer this review to the remembrance of perfect love. I surrender to its direction and let it teach me what to do, say and think each time I turn to it. It will always be available to me each time I call to it to help me. So I offer it to the whole review I now begin, and will also not forget the loving presence to which it has been given as I practice day by day, advancing towards the goal it set for me, allowing it to teach me how to go and trusting it completely for the way each practice period can best become a loving gift of freedom to the world.
Yeah. Thoughts on that?
Yes, well, if we can just abide by this paragraph, then yeah, it's offering just follow the words here, and it'll bring us to this loving presence with the practice of day by day, and it will advance us onto our goal.
Yeah, I'm saying give your practice over to the Holy Spirit. Allow it to take charge of the practice, so the practice period becomes a loving gift of freedom to the world. And a lot of people go, well, how's that affecting the whole world? Because we're talking on the mind level. So you practice and you connect with your source and you feel that in you, that is a loving gift of freedom to the whole world. You are changing the mind of the sonship by changing your own mind. You're offering that to the whole sonship or the whole mind, if you prefer the more modern language. The whole mind of God's Son or perfect love's extension is affected when you change your mind, because you're part of that one mind. So that's how, just by practicing quietly, silently, not saying anything or communicating with anyone, this is a loving gift to the whole world. Okay. Beautiful, really. It's a nice way to close that out. That's that paragraph. Sometimes you just read a paragraph and you say, that's really lovely, the way he's phrased it. Okay, so that leads us nicely into the lesson. Let me get a new recording going. So this is lesson 212. I'm not a body, I'm free. So let's read it in the, there's the image. A guy striving towards freedom. Let's read it, shall we? In the so I think is Kim with us? Kim, you still with us? I think Kim's dropped off. Okay, so Elaine, I'll read the original, and you read the alternative version, and then we'll just discuss it briefly, each one. Okay, so I'm not a body. I'm free. I'm still as God created me.
I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as perfect love extends me.
Yeah, so any thoughts on that? I gave my take on it. When you read those words, what does it make you feel?
Well, there's an absence of the body.
Yeah, how does that feel?
Just peaceful.
Yeah, I'm free. It's free of the body, free of limitations, free of lack, free of scarcity, free of all of it. Okay, so working, just recording that in audio. So I'm still as perfect love extends me. I'm still as God created me. And does that make a difference when you do in the alternative? Perfect love extends me. Does that
For I am still as perfect love extends me. Yeah, it just has that little added, yeah, just a little emphasis.
because perfect love extends me right now. Brings it
Yes.
into the present moment. I wasn't like once created by God. I am extended and always being extended by perfect love in every moment, moment by moment. Without that extension of perfect love or pure formless awareness of perfect love in its full name, I simply wouldn't have a life. I wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And so it's eternal because it's timeless. There's no time to it. There wasn't a time when suddenly you were created. The issue I have with the created word is it brings it into some kind of time construct. I was created in the past at a point in time. And a lot of people believe that. We didn't exist and then God created us and brought us into existence.
Just coming from your concepts and your ego, yeah.
But that's not true. If God is eternal and we are eternal beings, then you have always existed. There was no time when you didn't exist. This awareness that extends you is your own true nature. It's your own fundamental awareness. And we call it extended in this world just because it helps us to learn it and accept it. The truth is you are that. I am that I am. You are that awareness. That is your true nature. That's your essence. And you have never not been that. So you're always and forever that awareness, extended by the source of that awareness, if you want to use that language. But I prefer just to say you are that awareness. I am that I am. It's the oldest name of God. And that's what this is trying to communicate to us. That you are that awareness, so you're free of the body, you're free of all the limits of the body in that awareness. And when you say the words, you get the invitation to connect once again with that awareness, to make that awareness conscious so that you can really deeply connect with it. And in the process, you undo the program of the ego that's trying to convince you that you're a body and that you're not free. You're limited and bound by the body and all the conditions of this world. And you're certainly not perfect love. And as perfect love extends you, just a little human being struggling, getting sick, suffering, and dying. But that's the consequence of denying your true identity as perfect love. That's all that's left then when you deny it. Okay. So I have a function God would have me fill.
I have a function perfect love inspires me to fill.
Yeah. So again, God would have me fill. Just perfect love inspires me to fill is different. It's not, God isn't instructing me. I'm not being commanded, coerced, or controlled in any way. It's an inspiration. It's an inner fire that's inspiring me to fulfill this function, to claim my true identity as an extension of perfect love. That's the function that I came to fill. And the way to do that is through forgiveness or letting go. Okay, so then there's a couple of sentences, 4 sentences here. So I'll read the original, you read the alternative, right? Just sentence by sentence. So I seek the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world.
I accept the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world.
Only the function God has given me can offer freedom.
Only the function of pure formless awareness of perfect love has given me can offer me freedom.
Only this I seek, and only this will I accept as mine.
I seek only this, and I accept only this as mine.
Yeah, and then from the top, in
I
the
accept
alternative,
the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world. Only the function pure formless awareness of perfect love has given me can offer me freedom. I seek only this and accept only this as mine.
okay, so thoughts on that?
Again, a very nice paragraph. It's, just assuring us that this is all just vain illusions and the only function we have is pure formless awareness of perfect love. And we seek only this and accept this as our true self. It's ours.
Yeah. So as you said, this contains the whole truth. One simple lesson learned is the whole truth of the course. You accept this fully and you live this way, you're enlightened. That's how powerful these words are.
Mm.
But we know we need to repeat them over and over because we've got so much undoing of the old programming to do. And it's going to take a lot of these words, a lot of practice to undo that old program of the ego. Okay, and then just to round it out, I'm not a body.
I am not a body. I am free, or I am still as perfect love extends me. Oh, sorry, yes, you mean the paragraph there. I accept the function that would set me free. Oh, no, I've already
Yeah,
read
you
that.
read that already, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just reading the alternative.
Yeah,
Reading the original.
I'm still as God created me. So I'm still as perfect love extends me. And, therein lies your freedom and happiness and peace and everything. So whatever's going on in the world, what is happening in your life, you're still as perfect love extends you. You're still, in other words, perfect love. I am love. I am that I am. I'm still that, and nothing's changed. And therein lies your salvation, your freedom, your awakening, whatever language you want to use. In this perfect loving awareness, you realize who you really are. That can only be happy, peaceful, loving, joyful. And then you're living the happy dream. And this world becomes actually quite a pleasant journey until finally you're ready to exit, you're ready to let the body go, claim your true freedom in the mind as one with pure formless awareness of perfect love, which is just perfect mind. You merge into that mind and become one with that mind, one with that awareness, which we call pure formless awareness of perfect love. Okay. So, any other thoughts or comments or questions on this one?
Yeah, no, very good lesson.
Yeah, they're all good. And what I like about them is they're so brief.
Mm.
They're a recap of the longer original lessons, but in some ways these are more powerful because they're so brief. You read them and it just takes you beyond the words into the actual experience of the words, which we'll do now with the meditation, shall we?
Yep.
Okay, Kim, you still with us? Don't know where
Yeah.
Kim. I think you're with us. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So yeah, let's do a meditation on this, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so Just making yourself comfortable, sitting comfortably with your feet shoulder width apart. Your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So you're breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile, top of the inhale. And just scan your mind for any body thoughts. Any thoughts about, overtly about the body. Maybe there's pain in the body, sickness. Maybe body appetites, you're hungry, feeling tired, whatever. Just notice that and remind yourself that I'm not a body. I am free. Or I am still as God created me. Or I'm still as perfect love extends me. That means I remain as perfect love extends me. Or alternatively, I am still, I am in this stillness from which all peace, happiness, love arise. The absolute stillness of the truth that is within you. So connect with that. If there's anything that's blocking that, just notice it. Breathe into it. Breathe in this perfect loving awareness into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Remind yourself that I'm not a body. I am free. I'm still as perfect love extends me. I claim that truth now and I just let go of anything that is not this truth. So exhale. Let it all out. The breeze of your breath like a dark cloud or a black smoke leaving you. It's going, going, gone. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And rest for a few moments in this freedom that perfect love gives you. You can glimpse the truth that you are just this perfect loving awareness, free of all bodily conditions. Free in God, free in perfect love forever. So I have a function. Breathe in again. Mind you that you have a function. God would have you full or function perfect love. Inspires me to full. So that I have a function perfect love inspires me to full. Its function is to forgive or let go when he blocks to the awareness of love's presence. I have a function, perfect love inspires me to feel that inspiration, breathe it in. Inspiration comes from Latin words in spiritus, which means you're in the spirit, in this pure awareness. So pure awareness inspires you to let go of all the blocks to this awareness. It's really not complicated. Feel that inspiration. Exhale in the truth of that. Breathing in again. Nice deep inhale breath. As you listen to these words, just try and absorb the very essence of them, the energetic quality of them into your mind, into your body, every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. Is infusing the essence of these words. And seek to free you from the belief that you are a body. Say, as you breathe out, the I am all the vain illusions of the world. Only the function, pure formless awareness of perfect love has given me, can offer me freedom. I seek only this and accept only this as mine. And so just affirm that choice to yourself. Only function is to find the truth of who I am. The means of fulfilling that function are called forgiveness. Breathing in again. Breathe in, just infuse. I'm not a body. Say one more time to yourself as you breathe in. I'm not a body, this body or any body. No one else is a body. I am free of this belief. I'm free of all the apparent lacks, limitations, scarcity, the sickness, the suffering, the loneliness, the death that bodies can and often do experience in this world. I'm not a body, I'm free, for I'm still as perfect love extends me. So just feel that extension, that you are this awareness, this perfect loving awareness, pure formless awareness, perfect love is in you now. In your mind, in your heart. feel it. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to say. Go beyond all words, go beyond all practices, all techniques, and just allow yourself to experience. I'm not a body, I'm free. For I'm still as perfect love extends me. Just rest in this eternal peace. So just sinking inwards, going deeper and deeper with each breath to this still, calm, peaceful state. I'm not a body, I'm free, for I'm still as perfect love extends me, and just rest in this peaceful awareness. Resting in God, as it's called in one of the lessons in the workbook. Allow yourself to just experience this fully, breathing in and out through your nose. Just observe the breath. And with each breath, just sink a bit deeper in, deeper and deeper with each breath into the experience that these words point to, that this lesson points to. So you have a function God would have you fill, that perfect love inspires me to fill, and it's to just experience this perfect love as yourself. This perfect loving awareness as your own awareness. That's the function. It's all you need to do. So simple. You've got all the many other things to do that cover it over. So just rest in this peaceful awareness, perfect loving awareness for nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, and be still. So that as the sentence says, for I am still as perfect love extends me. So just be still and realizing this awareness that you are as perfect love extends you. Just gently coming back now into an awareness of your body and the breath, the senses, and the world on the count of 3. Over the count of 3. So 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises, subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Feel that energy rising up the spine. It's your sphincter muscle. Just feel into what this lesson is pointing us to. You're not a body. There is a life energy and awareness in you. It's beyond the body, which frees you. Not the body, I'm free. For I'm still as perfect love extends me. Breathe that all in. So notice as you breathe in any thoughts, emotions, related body sensations happening. If there's anything that doesn't feel right, it feels negative, it denies this perfect loving awareness, hopefully you've got in touch with, then be aware of it and realize what it is, that this isn't the truth of who you are. So I'm not a body. I am free. I'm still as God created me, or perfect love extends me. Exhale on the truth of that. Blow all this negativity out like a dark cloud or black smoke, leaving your body, your mind, your energy system, blowing it all away, the breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is. All the stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. Rest in this perfect peace. Peace of God has been called. It's a possible understanding for a few moments. Connect with it. Feel its presence in your heart. Anchor the state in. You can connect with this at any point. If you need it, you just call on it and it's there. The more you practice, the more able you are to do that. So it is said and so it is done. And now on the count of 3, open your eyes. So just take a moment to look around. Just be aware of what's in the room around you. Noticing everything. Perhaps you notice a subtle change in your perception, just a bit more peaceful. Everything is calmer, more serene. A golden glow, a peaceful glow underlies everything you see. That's enlightened perception. So be open to that, be aware of that. Look around. Remind yourself one more time that I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as God or perfect love created or extends me. Still as perfect love extends me. And this is my new function. I have a function that perfect love inspires me to fill, which is to be itself, to be aware of it. it's as simple that to be aware of it, to allow this perfect loving awareness into our minds, into our hearts, and to then extend it out in our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And so it is. Amen. Which brings us to the end of the meditation and tonight's session. So thank you to both of you for joining. Kim, great you could make it. And I'll see you again next week.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
Yeah, let's aim for maybe Tuesday next week, but I'll early in the week.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
All right, Elaine. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.
Bye. Okay, Kim, are you still there? Say good night. Bye. All right, so to anyone who watched the live stream or was watching the recording, hope you enjoyed that. A couple of things you can do if you liked the content of this. Subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified whenever I go live, which is at the moment once a week. And you can also go to lifebuild.com. It's lifebuild.com. You see the link below in the comments section of the video to sign up to receive a daily Telegram message where you can get a quote. You saw an example of that in the beginning of the session. Some comments on the quote, some resources. Often I give free ebooks or videos, recordings of discussion sessions. All of that comes to you free via Telegram, as well as invitations to join these live sessions, free meditations on the daily lessons. It's quite a comprehensive program. So go to lifebuild.com, sign up to the Telegram group and join us in there. Subscribe to the channel, and I hope to catch you on the inside of one of these sessions or on the Telegram group soon. So thanks for listening and watching, and keep practicing and finding the peace of perfect love that lies within you beyond the body. Namaste, which means that perfect loving awareness in me acknowledges and honors that same perfect loving awareness in you. Give you much peace and love in that awareness. Bye for now.